Welcome people of the World Wide Web. So it's Cypher Sigma here, and it's another in-depth collection video. As it's a Monday, you know that's what to expect. I will have hopefully round about this time next, or near the end of the month, I will do my next Actor Factor. It will be Andrew Garfield, so look forward to that. But yes, so you've all come to see the collection, so let's get into it. So we finished off with John Tucker Must Die, not the best film, and then we move on to another John, probably a bit more of a popular John among people. John Wick 1, I love this movie, big fan of dogs. I was very upset, but I just thought this was a great story. Number 2, you see it's got sealed. It was sealed, it's damaged in the corner. Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of 2, I liked 1 and 3. More than anything, I don't actually own 3. I try and get them when they're cheap. And then we have Joker. Really thought this was a great movie. Think it should be left alone. Not really looking forward to the sequel one of it, but still was a good movie. Jonah Hex, obviously based off DC Comics. Not great. Got an alright cast, but yeah, even my dog agrees, don't you, Mark? Mark? Yeah, there you go. John Richardson, obviously more comedies, all from my wife. She's a big John Richardson fan. There's another one, Funny Magnet. An idiot. Can't say I've watched them, so I'm not really. Josie and the Pussycats, classic 90s based off comic books, so you know, or TV. Was it an animated TV series? I think first. I didn't mind this. Rachel E. Cook. Journey to the Centre of the Earth, good old Brendan Fraser as he travelled. Bit silly, bit dated. I think I watched this a year, I think it was on TV last year actually. I watched this and thought it was alright. Some of the CG is a bit dodgy. Then I'll see number 2 where they replaced him out with a rock. Again, I didn't mind this one. Then Judge Dredd. I didn't break the law, I am the law. I like this movie. I know a lot of people prefer the newer one, but I do like that. Julie and Julia, never seen it, so I can't comment. Chick flicky one. Just picked up, I think, on a whim. Juliet Naked. This was a bit of an oddball one, so I thought it'd be quite a good one. It's a basic musician who comes to town. They're kind of a couple and struggling, and she then kind of falls for him, and it's all, it was a little bit of a weird movie in my eyes. Then the classic Jumanji, Robin Williams. At least we have films like this to watch his incredible talent. Then we have Welcome to the Jungle. And The Next Level, both on Blu-ray, obviously still sealed. Then Jumpin' Jack Flash, Whoopi Goldberg, I think from the 80s. Then Juno, obviously Ellen Page before she became Elliot Page. Jupiter Ascending. I watched this at the cinema. I thought this was not the greatest movie at all. Got it for £1.50, which is probably quite generous. I will rewatch it at some point. Then we go into Jurassic. So we have Jurassic Park, The Lost World. Number 3, which I really do like. 3. I know not people are not the biggest fan of. Then we go into Jurassic World. And Jurassic Kingdom, or Fallen Kingdom, sorry. Very sad section S. And then the very poor Dominion, but you've got to get it to have the full set. Justice, can't really remember. I want to say he maybe has an accident, can't remember who he is, and then tries to figure out. Or maybe I'm confusing it with another movie. Just Friends, obviously the Ryan Reynolds when he's trying to be like kind of all friendly and he's fat. I think it's the Batwing was introduced in this as well. People know what I'm talking about. Just Before I Go. Haven't seen this one. So again, I didn't realise it was a movie by Courtney Cox. Well, there you go. Just go with it. Big Adam Sandler fan, and obviously Jennifer Aniston. I know they found their rhythm with the murder mystery movies, but I did like these ones. Then we have the series Justified. Bought this, I've never got around to watching it. Do like Timothy Olyphant. So that's season 1. I want to say there's 4 series, and I got season 1 and season 2 quite cheap. I say I will get around to watching it at some point. Just Like Heaven, quite a good movie with Reese Witherspoon and obviously Mark Ruffalo. Then there is Just Married, obviously Brittany Murphy and Ashton Kutcher, another actress obviously gone too soon. But yeah, I quite like this. I thought this is quite funny. Just My Luck, obviously the McFly single, people probably know more about this than the film itself, but it was okay. It's kind of a swap, one's very lucky, one's very unlucky, and they swap, kind of a little bit of a twist on the kind of trading places. K9, I like this movie, obviously a big fan of dogs, and James Belushi. I think it came out about the same time as Turner and Hooch. Kangaroo Jack, obviously early 2000s, big Jerry O'Connell fan, so glad he got kind of leading role in this. Very silly movie, turn your brain off and have a fun. Carla, very big Laura Prepon fan, so I went on a bit of a binge. She did a few movies while being in that 70s show and stuff, and afterwards, and this was one of them about a serial killer. I thought it was all right. Katie and Leopold, love this movie, kind of it's got the time, trading places. Hugh Jackman, I never watched this until like 5-10 years ago, and then obviously Hugh Jackman, how big he is now, but do really like this film. Katy the Perry, the movie, pardon me, as I've said, I watch anything and everything. This, I didn't mind this. It was quite interesting to see her life and all the stuff she was going through with Russell Brand and stuff. There's a lot of little bits that feature in this. So, Keeping the Faith, big Jenna Elfman fan back in the day, Dharma and Greg, so that's why I bought this. I thought it was an alright movie, not what you were expecting, let's just say. Keeping Up with the Joneses, obviously the spy one, yeah. Turn your brain off, have a nice time. Keith Lemon, the film, I don't think I need to say anything about that. Keeping Mum, I quite like this movie. So Ryan Atkinson, and obviously Ryan Atkinson and his wife. In a little town, and Maggie Smith comes along as a nanny, and there's a few twists and turns. Also a big Muppet fan. Unfortunately, I know the cover got a bit battered because it was a very cheap copy from CEX, but do love Kermit. It's an alright movie. Obviously, it's a bit weird, it's a bit different because you're used to having the other guys and girls with him. Then we go a bit comic. We've got Kick-Ass. You know, if you've seen my actor factor for Nicolas Cage, you'll see this does have a mention in that film. I'm not going to say where. And then we have Kick-Ass number 2. Good old Jim Carrey there. Yeah, due to trolls leaking it and a lot of stuff, unfortunately, it didn't do that well. It's a shame because I would have liked to see the whole trilogy shown. Then we have Kicking and Screaming, a very blasé comedy with Will Ferrell. And then Jean-Claude Van Damme with Kickboxer, a classic, doing the splits with the bamboo trees and that. I liked it. I do like my martial arts. Let's move along to Kill Bill, Part 1. Uma Thurman, kicking ass. And then obviously then Part 2. Killer Joe. This was a very enlightening one for Matthew McConaughey. There are some quite graphic scenes in this, but it is a really, really good film. Kind of starts off a little bit dark and gets very dark, I think. You know, you've got domestic abuse and people being beaten up and stuff. Then with Killers, an alright Ashton Kutcher comedy with Katherine Heigl, not the greatest. Killing Them Softly, I don't remember this film, so I can't comment. I don't think I've even seen it. Kin, I watched this last year and picked it up. I think it was last year. I think it was on the channel. I quite like this movie, kind of sci-fi futuristic. a little bit turned in. Had potential. It's an okay film. Would have liked it to been a bit better in the story. Then we have Kindergarten Cop, good old Arnold Schwarzenegger. Who is your daddy and what does he do? Haven't got number 2, haven't seen number 2. I'm not sure if I want to desecrate them. King Arthur, director's cut. I quite like this version of King Arthur. There have been a lot of stories. Obviously, Jerry Bruckheimer presents this one. Kingdom of Heaven, special edition. I think it's like 3.5 hours long. Have not got round to ever watching this. I think it's like 4 discs. King Kong, I quite like this with Jack Black. Obviously, the introduction of the Beast. So that, as you see, I like Pacific Rim and Kaiju and stuff. I did like the fighting on the scene there with the I think it's the 2 T-Rexes he fights. Kingpin, so Vanessa Angel there, big fan of her from Weird Science. I thought this was alright. I'd say that this was kind of a 90s comedy with the Big Lebowski and stuff like this. It was quite different sort of comedy, and yeah, and it's like I thought it was okay back in the day, but I need to probably rewatch it. King Ralph, a good old comedy there. Been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember enjoying it as a kid. Then the brilliant, if I can pronounce his name, Edgerton. What is his name? Yeah, so kind of the introduction of him. I thought this was an amazing movie. Loved it with the church and stuff like that. I must admit, I even really liked the second one and like what they did. I even liked the third one, even though I don't own it. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, one of my best friends back in the day, absolutely loved this film, and it kind of encouraged me to get it. I watched it. I didn't think it was too bad. Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. Kiss the Dragon, one of the very early DVDs I bought for the collection. Obviously, Romeo Must Die was my first one, and that got me into the kind of Jet Li fan, so that's why I started to picking Lee's up as he became mainstream. Kiss the Girls and Along Came a Spider. Loved the Morgan Freeman kind of crime thrillers from the 90s with Ashley Judd and that. Both really good movies. Guitar the movie, based off an anime, I believe, not the greatest one. So it's both of them, so the movie and the Millennium Curse. Watched them both, didn't think too much to it, so they've kind of been, yeah. Night and Day, paid £8, I don't think so, probably from CEX, but yeah, I didn't mind this. It's kind of your average spy thriller one. Knight Rider the series, loved Knight Rider back in the day. Don't own any of the original stuff, but I thought this, and I did quite like the idea of Team Knight Rider, but I bought this, watched this on holiday with my cousin many years ago. I didn't mind it. I thought it had potential, but yeah, it's always a hard one when you're trying to kind of reboot a series. Knockaround Guys, obviously Vin Diesel there, very early movie about him and his cohorts getting up to some dodgy business. It was alright. Knocked Up, yeah, kind of the classic about pregnancy and stuff. We've all known it. Seth Rogen probably coming into his prime. Knock Out Off, even an action movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Rob Schneider, and I can't really remember this, so I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen it. Did you think it was a good movie? Knowing, obviously, Nicolas Cage and the aliens and the conspiracy theory. I think this didn't have the best ending, but had the potential for a good movie. One of my personal favourite low-budget movies, K-Pax, kind of. Jeff Bridges is a psychiatrist, and this is his patient, Prot, who believes he's an alien, and it's a whole 2 hours of basically is he or isn't he, and I think it's a very good film on that premise. Krampus, took ages to get hold of this one because I missed it when there. Was a little disappointed in it personally. Didn't think it was a too bad story overall, but yeah, I think it just felt it was lacking something. I'm not sure what. Kuba and the Two Strings, bought for many years, took me ages to watch it, and then I absolutely loved it. Watching behind the scenes and stuff is on this DVD. It's really interesting, the making of. They don't do enough of these making of films and all the stuff that goes into it. Kung Fu the movie, obviously one of Brandon Lee from The Crow, that's why I have this one. Martial art, it was okay. It's a good introduction to Brandon Lee and to kind of get him into the movie business. Kung Fu Hustle, one of my previous top 5 movies. Unfortunately, over time, it just hasn't got that flair that I remember when I was younger. Kung Fu Panda 1. Good old Poe, I'm sure we've all heard this. And Kung Fu Panda 2. And surprise, surprise, hiding around the corner, Kung Fu Panda 3. Let's put that there so there's a bit more space. Kung Pao, a really silly martial art film from the late 90s, 2000s, I think. TV series Carl XY, where he's a clone. Trying to figure I didn't mind this. I thought this was quite good for back in the day. Again, it was only one series that cancelled, so unfortunately didn't go any further, I think. Labyrinth. We all know this, David Bowie, and part of his body that features quite prominently in this, but you really like this, kind of reminds you of being a kid. LA Confidential, you got Kevin Spacey in the kind of crime of Hollywood and all the ongoings. I thought this was quite good back in the day. Again, one I've not seen in ages. Ladder 69, really like this. I think this was given to me by Matt. It's V Movies, and yeah, I really loved it about the fire team and stuff. It's not leads you to a place you don't expect it to go. Lady Hawk, so this is one of my friends, Kelly. She's big into the action and Conan and stuff, so she kind of hit me up with this, and yeah, I quite like this back in the day. Rutger Hauer and good old Ferris Bueller there, Matthew Broderick. Lagan, if you would have seen, I've done a video recently in this, but surprised it's 3.5 hours long. It's Bollywood. It's about kind of them having to play a game of cricket against the government, the UK government and that. But yeah, actually surprisingly quite a good movie. Lakeview Terrace, good old Samuel L. Jackson being a bit of a nasty player, which a role you don't really get to see too much of. I thought it was quite good. La La Land, if you've seen any recent views, yeah, I think I'm on the fence. It's an okay movie. I don't really think it deserves what it is, but that's just my opinion. Land of the Lost, good old Wilfred. I quite like the acorn joke in this with the T-Rex, but yeah, I didn't mind this for what it was. Larry Crown, as you see the stickers are on it, so I don't know, I haven't watched it, so I can't really comment on this one. Then The Last Action Hero, good old Schwarzenegger. I like this film. With going into cinema, I know there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes of what went on and stuff, but I quite like it. I thought it's silly. Last Holiday, sorry, with Queen Latifah. I remember watching this about 4 or 5 years ago and didn't think much to it at all. Just wasn't my cup of tea. Wasn't the best. Last Man Standing, kind of the gangster movie with Bruce Willis. I really liked this back in the day. Big kind of gangster fan. But I thought it was quite good. Getting to the end now, Last Night in Soho. Yeah, again, another movie, Edgar Wright, he's quite good. Starts off and you don't kind of think it goes where it's going to go. But I thought it was quite good, quite an interesting ending. Laurie Canyon. Never seen this, obviously. One I bought ages ago and it's just sat there. We'll have to get around to watch it soon. And the final one, and what one to end on, Law Abiding Citizen, Jamie Foxx, and Gerard Butler. I love this movie. Good twists, good turns, brilliant movie all round. And there we go. That was the in-depth collection for this week. Hope you're all enjoying this series. Obviously, there is a lot more to go. Obviously, at the end of the year, I will be having a little bit of a purge. Not much will go, but there will be a little bit one. And then I will kind of refocus my habits a little bit, I think, for next year. As you can see, I am filling up a lot of spaces here, there, and running out of stuff. So I need to kind of rejig and get rid of a few. I think it's a good way. It'll be the first time I do get rid of some DVDs for the collection. So, but otherwise, hope you enjoyed the series. I shall see you in the next one.